Sometimes a video game character is created, but then they need to be redesigned for one reason or another. Maybe to fit with the current times, or maybe the first design got old, or maybe you're rebooting the series and you want their redesign to fit the tone of the game. However, these 10 character redesigns are definitely not the way to do it. Hi guys, this is DPX. Welcome to the top 10 worst video game character redesigns. These are mostly redesigns that just are total slaps in the face to the fans of the series, or the fans of the characters, and really don't make any sense. Or maybe they're just misguided. Anyways, let's get started. But before we do that, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, and leave a comment. You'll be a loyal subscriber.
I wanted to give to you, the last part of your notes here, the significance spiritually of the number.
Y'all remember Castlevania Judgment? Yeah, it was a really bad fighting game that took the characters from Castlevania and made it into a 3D fighting game that heavily utilized the Wii's motion controls. Yup. One thing that happened was everyone that is in this game, they're all already existing Castlevania characters, they all got redesigns. That makes sense because it might look weird with the old designs, but just look at what they did to Simon Belmont. Yep, this is apparently Simon Belmont. He just looks like an emo Death Note character. Well, there's a reason for that. Takeshi Obata, hope I said that right, actually did the redesigns for the characters in this game. He is the guy behind the character designs in Death Note. So this one isn't higher because Obata is a really good and really talented artist, but he just wasn't a good pick for Castlevania, a series about killing vampires. This just looks out of place for that. Again, the design isn't bad. It would be better though if it wasn't on Simon Belmont. If there is any video game character on this list that needed some sort of redesign the most, it's probably PacMan. PacMan is iconic, but if you want to make different kinds of games with him, he's gotta be more than just a pizza pie with one less slice. And hey, PacMan World is a lot of fun, and I don't mind that design too much. However, we then got PacMan and the Ghostly Adventures. It was really to launch a TV show, and the video game is to help promote it, I guess. But they're both terrible, and I mean, it's still a video game, and it was meant to redesign PacMan, so it counts for the list. I mean, just look at this. Look at how stupid he looks. They also tried characterizing PacMan more here, giving him more of an attitude, kinda like Sonic. It doesn't work, it's PacMan. He's most known for being a dot. Even when PacMan upgraded from just being a little circle, he wasn't too expressive, but that didn't really matter too much because it's PacMan. Seeing him express himself quite a bit here just doesn't feel right to me. It just looks ugly. Ugh.
So I'm going to be giving this flavor 8.5 out of 10 scoops.
Spyro the Dragon. An adorable little dragon in his own little 3D platformers. Seriously though, how can you not love this little guy? I know the answer. Skylanders. Look at this. He looks like a fucking gargoyle. Spyro the Dragon has gone through many redesigns, like the Legends games. That had a different design, and a pretty weird one too. But that didn't disrespect fans of the series. This one did. I mean, just looking at this Spyro makes me want to vomit. I'm already getting that weird feeling in my stomach as I speak. Possibly the worst part of this redesign is that Spyro, the character, was only put in Skylanders and in the title of the first game to help market the game. Spyro's adventure. But as the series went on, Spyro wasn't even featured on the main cover of the games and didn't even come with the game. He was just another character in the game. Hey, at least we got the Reignited trilogy, which gave a nice, cool design. Not whatever this is. Oh god.
36.
Very close, but that's not. Let's go to Gary the Retard. What number between 2 and 4?
Wanna know a series that has been virtually forgotten at this point? Prince of Persia. It's very much like the early Assassin's Creed games, but those actually took inspiration from Prince of Persia, because Prince of Persia was first. Specifically Sands of Time, which is stellar, by the way. And in those games, you take control of, well, the Prince of Persia, or as he's just referred to as the Prince. He's just a simple prince who's taking on certain tasks, yada yada yada. Right. Well, then, 1 year later came Warrior Within, and what the fuck is this? Just like other entries on this list, this design seems out of place for the Prince of Persia, as he doesn't look like a prince. He looks like someone who's supposed to be dead. He looks like the bad guy. I wouldn't necessarily call this one disrespectful, though, as it seems more like a designer forgetting who he or she was designing, but geez. Not only that, though, they came out with yet another game called Prince of Persia: Two Thrones, and they made the prince even darker. Yeesh.
Okay, Mrs. Puff, what's my final score?
6.
Remember Bionic Commando? It was a cool little platformer where you use a robotic arm to get across the level. You played as Nathan Rad Spencer, who was a cool dude with a very radical mustache, hence the name Nathan Rad Spencer. I mean, I don't think it was his mustache that gave him the name, but you get the idea. Well, Capcom decided to bring back Bionic Commando and make it more of an action-adventure game with mechanics that seem similar to like any Spider-Man game where you web-sling across New York City. They didn't keep the original design for the character though, as they made Nathan Rad Spencer from a cool dude to an overly miserable dude. Oh yeah, and they dropped the word rad from his name, so he's just Nathan Spencer. It's kind of boring. I'm sorry, how do you go from a pretty cool dude and unique design to this? He's just depressed. It makes me depressed. And he can't even pull off the dreadlocks that well either. Seems to be a theme here with characters being redesigned to be more edgy or dark, but I haven't told you this next part yet. The robotic arm Spencer has, in the other games, is just an arm. In this, that's his wife. His wife was turned into an arm. Need I say more?
Oh, chills. Literal chills.
It was number 5. Number 5.
Oh my god, I forgot about
Oh, Conker, you are just one sign of how Rareware has fallen. Conker is an adorable little squirrel on the outside, as he's incredibly foul-mouthed and disgusting on the inside. But, I mean, that's what we all love about him, isn't it? He was already disrespected in Project Spark as just a DLC character with, I mean, just the way they revealed him. But you're probably saying, DPX, there hasn't been a new Conker game, so how could they possibly redesign Conker? Let alone in a terrible way that warrants his placement on this list. Well, remember Microsoft HoloLens? I kinda don't. But, I mean, I do remember Young Conker. Oh my god, what is this? No, seriously, what is this? You're probably saying, oh, it's Young Conker. It's not really a redesign, it's just a different version of Conker. So calm down, DPX. Well, first, don't fucking tell me to calm down. I do what I want. But second, I bet you they only called this Young Conker just to escape any backlash. Maybe I'm thinking too hard into it, but if that's not the case, It failed, Microsoft. Seriously, I can't look at this any longer. I'm getting eye strain. I'm gonna move on.
7, 5.
Oh, Dante. Once a laid-back guy who knew his life was an absolute joke and never took things too seriously. But then came DMC Devil May Cry, where we go from this to this. Now keep in mind, it just seems like a visual change and not a huge one at that. So you might be wondering why Dante is this high. Well, it's simple. He might not have gotten the biggest visual redesign, but they changed his character, like characteristics, and he's now emo, and is way too serious. To be quite honest, I'm sure you all expected Dante to appear on this list, because emo Dante is unanimously one of the most disrespectful and worst redesigns in gaming history. And for good reason. Take a look at this cutscene and tell me I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure why Capcom would go out of their way to insult the fans like that, but they did, and it didn't fly with them. Luckily, DMC5 came out, and emo Dante, no more. Sonic has gone through many redesigns, but he's not who's on the list. Knuckles is. And yeah, I'm sure you know where this is going. Once a cool yet cocky guy with an attitude, who was also pretty smart and would only fail due to his attitude. Now we get to Sonic Boom, where everyone is taller and had bandages around them, but not too many other visual changes other than that. With the exception of Knuckles, though, because he's been taking fucking steroids. Jesus, man. Don't fuck with Knuckles now. Oh, wait, they made him a fucking idiot, too. Never mind. Knuckles is honestly my boy, so to see him getting portrayed as an absolute dumbass really does suck. And honestly, when I first saw this design for him, I honestly thought it was a joke. I really did. At least Sonic Boom, as a whole, was ditched sooner rather than later. And we got normal Knuckles, as well as a normal cast of Sonic characters.
What kind of pencil do we take again?
Number 2. Take a number 2.
Looks like you took a big number 2.
Oh, how a redesign not only killed a franchise, but kinda killed a company too. I'm talking about BanjoKazooie. Look at the bear and bird duo. Just by looking at them, you can't help but love them. Then came... I can't even... Nuts and Bolts. And they look like this. What is this? This is disgusting. So disgusting, I don't think I can put it into words. They both just look awful. They look like they'll be haunting my dreams. I wonder what Banjo is thinking. I wonder what Kazooie is thinking. I wonder what Microsoft or Rare or whoever redesigned these characters are thinking. Oh yeah, and BanjoKazooie Nuts and Bolts was Rare's last game before Microsoft trapped Rareware into a prison I like to call Kinect games. I know what I'm thinking. Never looking at these two fucking redesigns again. Well, before we get to number 1, let's look at some honorable mentions. Or in this case, dishonorable mentions. Ah yes, Bomberman. Such an adorable little robot guy who just likes bombs, yeah. I don't even think you really need to redesign him, because he just looks fine. Are you serious? This? I know what you might be thinking. DPX! That's not Bomberman. And you're right. This is not Bomberman. Whatever you think, it's not Bomberman. But Konami thought it was. I can't even fathom what they were thinking. When I first saw this for myself, I was a lot younger. When I first saw this, I thought it was a fucking joke. Or, not really a joke. I thought it was something else. It shared the same name as Bomberman. Of course, I didn't know how trademarking worked, but still, how was this an acceptable redesign for this? Is there anything else really to say? Bomberman, the Act Zero redesign, comes in at number 1. Anyways, that was this video of the worst video game character redesigns. What do you think? Do you agree with me? You know, tell me what you think. Do you have any others that I missed? Any of the honorable mentions you think should have been entries on the list? Let me know. Whatever you want, just let me know. Be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.